For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Attorney General Merrick Garland says he's appointing a special counsel in the Hunter Biden probe, deepening the investigation of the president's son ahead of the 2024 election. Garland named David Weiss, U.S. Attorney in Delaware, as special counsel. He's been investigating Hunter's business dealings since 2019.
Upon considering his request, as well as the extraordinary circumstances relating to this matter, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint him as special counsel. This appointment confirms my commitment to provide Mr. Weiss all the resources he requests. It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently, based only on the facts and the law. As special counsel, he will continue to have the authority and responsibility that he has previously exercised to oversee the investigation and decide where, when, and whether to file charges.
Weiss has said plea deal talks broke down in the Hunter Biden tax and gun case. The appointment comes during a pair of sweeping Justice Department probes into former President Donald Trump, and just days after the Republican-controlled House Oversight Committee said documents prove oligarchs have sent $20 million to the Biden family, focusing on the president's son, Hunter. Small amounts, though, in comparison to Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, receiving $2 billion from Saudi Arabia last year. It's still a rallying cry for Republicans and perhaps payback for the prosecution of their favored presidential candidate, Donald Trump. The federal judge overseeing the election conspiracy charges against Donald Trump is warning there are limits on what the former president can publicly say about the investigation as he campaigns for a second term in the White House. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan heard arguments today on how to structure a protective order that would prevent Trump from publicly airing all the evidence turned over by prosecutors. Chutkan stressed political considerations would not guide her decisions and repeatedly said Trump was subject to the court's rules as a defendant before trial, even as he runs for president. She also warned the more anyone makes inflammatory statements about the case, the greater her urgency would be to move it forward to trial to prevent the contamination of the jury pool. Trump has made incendiary statements about his prosecution to the media and on social media. The death toll in Maui from catastrophic wildfires has grown to 55, and officials fear it will increase as search and rescue efforts continue. The blaze wiped out the town of Lahaina in Hawaii's deadliest fire and the deadliest U.S. wildfire since the 2018 Camp Fire in California that killed 85 people. President Joe Biden declared a national emergency.
Anyone who's lost a loved one whose home has been damaged or destroyed is going to get help immediately. And I've directed that we surge support to these brave firefighters and first responders and emergency personnel.
Officials say recovery will be long and take years to rebuild the community razed to the ground. Pacifica affiliate KMUD News spoke to KNMO's Ryan Berg with Maui's only commercial-free community radio station.
I'm in shock, honestly. It was just absolutely crazed that it happened as fast as it did, and it happened the way that it did. Because of the climate crisis that we're facing, and the fact that it's just getting drier and hotter here, and we have more drought conditions, things just went completely south. Lahaina was essentially gone.
Ryan Berg is music director at KNMO, Mana'o Community Radio in Maui. Tensions are escalating between Niger's new military regime and the West African regional bloc ECOWAS. Yesterday, it ordered troops deployed to restore Niger's flailing democracy. ECOWAS said it had directed a standby force to restore constitutional order in Niger after the coup ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. Mexico's top diplomat, Foreign Relations Secretary Alicia Bárcena urged removal of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's buoys in the Rio Grande yesterday while meeting with her counterpart, Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
On the buoy issue in Texas, we're deeply concerned about the issue, but thankful because the U.S. Justice Department has filed a lawsuit against the Texas government, and this helps us very much because we're talking about a delicate situation on our border, in our rivers, in the Rio Bravo, in the Rio Grande, but most of the buoys are on the Mexican side.
At least 3 bodies have been found dead, caught in the buoys, which have large circular saws between them. Mexico has said the move violates a 1944 and 1970 treaties on boundaries and water. Texas Democrat Sylvia Garcia posted videos of the buoys with saws attached to them earlier this week on social media, saying she was appalled by the ongoing cruel and inhumane tactics employed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott at the border, she said. I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.